In the year 2083, the Earth appears to be affected by solar storms. The Earth's core is also believed to be melting, and the eruption of global volcanoes has become unavoidable. During all that, and in an attempt for survival, the forces led by Sabre Lord Daoba and Medusa are fighting for survival resources, and they continue to wage multiple wars. 2 months ago, a blacksmith named Kwai Falai from Bagu village got forced into serving in the Sabre Lord's army, leaving behind his pregnant wife. During his service, Kwai Falai adopts a little boy named Mutt, whom he works hard to protect. One day, during the usual war between Sabre Lord soldiers and Medusa soldiers, both parties are struck by an aerial attack, leaving many wasted. Luckily, Kwai Falai survived the attack, but is unable to find Mutt and the other soldiers who have retreated. Instead of returning to the army, Kwai Falai chooses to become a deserter and return to his family, knowing full well the consequences of being a deserter. That night, he returns home and gets attacked by his wife, Ray, who mistakes him for a trespasser. When Ray realizes it's her husband, she hugs him, but she reminds him that the Sabre Lord will lay waste to him if he finds out that he's a deserter. So Kwai Falai suggests that they pack their things and run away instead. Meanwhile, Baby, who works for Sabre Lord, and Hai Jin, who works for Medusa, are having a good time when Baby notices what she thinks is a shooting star. She then asks Hai Jin to make a wish. On the other hand, the shooting star turns out to be a meteorite that finds its way towards Bagu village, and in Kwai Falai's compound to be exact. Medusa, who's observing with her binoculars, sees the meteorite. She believes it's just what she needs to finish up her secret weapon and plans to investigate it. Back in Kwai Falai's house, he is asked by the village leader, Uncle Chi, to go and investigate the rock. On reaching outside, he yells with joy when he realizes that the rock contains gold. The following day, Bagu village is raided by the Sabre Lord and his men, who have come to punish Kwai Falai and his fellow deserters, and also to punish the villagers for harboring him. The villagers plead for mercy, but the Sabre Lord shoots the men down. As he's about to shoot Kwai Falai yells that he has gold in his house. As a result, he is spared by the Sabre Lord. Together with Uncle Chi and 2 other family friends, they escort the Sabre Lord to Kwai Falai's house to present the gold to him. Unfortunately, the space rock has somehow managed to close up, and the Sabre Lord doesn't see any gold. Kwai Falai then has no choice but to make something up. He lies to him that the rock will have to be split open if they want to extract the gold. At first, the Sabre Lord doesn't believe Kwai Falai, so he holds his sword to his neck. Uncle Chi then manages to convince him that the rock actually contains gold and only needs to be opened up. Being quite convinced, the Sabre Lord gives them 3 days to extract the gold and leaves. With Sabre Lord gone, Kwai Falai enlists the help of his neighbors and friends in opening the rock. They start by trying to mine its content, but that plan doesn't work as the space rock appears to be impenetrable. So they try cutting through with an electric saw. That also fails. Seeing how they're struggling to crack open the space rock, Uncle Chi hands them some dynamite, which they immediately light up and clear the area before setting it off. Unfortunately, the rock remains untouched, leaving them devastated at the thought of what the Sabre Lord will do when he finds out he was deceived. But they've still got 2 days, so they better think of something fast. Later that day, Kwai Falai takes Ray and tries to run away from everything, in case Sabre Lord comes back to get him. But due to the pregnancy, Ray is unable to follow him, and leaving will only be detrimental due to food shortage and the extreme heat. Meanwhile, Medusa is plotting with her minion how to get their hands on the space rock in order to channel its energy to power their spaceship. That night, at Bagu village, Kwai Falai returns with Ray, frustrated at everyone and at everything. The others then start an argument with him about his stupid idea, which eventually leads to a fight. Uncle Chi then shuts them up and takes out the gold he was originally planning to use to buy his coffin. The only issue about the gold is that it tends to wash off, but thanks to that, Kwai Falai gets an idea of how they can fool the Sabre Lord once more. Using his skills as a blacksmith, he manages to make fake gold with regular stones. They also get rid of the space rock to make it look like it had been mined. 3 days later, the Sabre Lord's men come to retrieve the gold as agreed. After Kauai has set down the wooden box containing the supposed gold, he proceeds to try and nail it shut when one of the soldiers requests to see the goods. He takes out a piece and seems to be convinced that it's legit, so he orders them to shut the box. However, he soon realizes that the color has come off and that the gold is fake, so he tries to confront Kauai. Kauai also realizes that they have been caught and tries to attack when suddenly Medusa's men, led by Haijin, attack the village. Haijin asks Kauai for the gold, but when Kauai is unable to present any gold, he's taken hostage by the men. Later, Uncle Chi and the others watch as Rei runs after the soldiers, pleading for her husband's freedom. One of them suggests that they all run away together, but Uncle Chi reminds them that running away is nothing but a ticket to the other side. Meanwhile, Kauai is busy yelling for help after being locked up by the soldiers, when surprisingly, Mutt comes to him from the other side. He asks Mutt for help, but Mutt, who doesn't seem to understand, just leaves him. Later, Kauai and his tricks have managed to get the soldiers to dance along with him under the pretense that they're trying to spiritually open the rock. Baby and Haijin, on the other hand, start to mock him on account that the old ways have long been forgotten. Suddenly, the sky turns dark as an extraterrestrial ship appears above and strikes the space rock. This causes a reaction with Kauai's hammer, which pulls him towards the rock. The rock then transmits its energy to Kauai, giving him superhuman abilities. After the reaction, Kauai falls to the ground unconscious. When the coast is clear, the soldiers rush to investigate whether Kauai was able to survive such an intense accident. Suddenly, Kauai, under the influence of the reaction, single-handedly attacks the soldiers, taking them all down before he escapes. Meanwhile, Medusa secretly observes the scene. Just then, Sabre Lord and his men attack the rest of Medusa's men. After the soldiers are done eliminating each other, Sabre Lord comes out to investigate the rock. Baby then informs him that the rock's energy has been transferred to the blacksmith, Kauai. On the other hand, Kauai is running for his precious life when suddenly he gets attacked and captured by Medusa. Back in Medusa's spaceship, he's tied up and the cosmic energy he had obtained is milked from his body and transferred into Medusa's ship. However, Kauai finds a way to attack her minion and electrocute Medusa, giving him a chance to escape. He manages to fight his way through the ship, and while being chased on land by her soldiers, he falls off a small cliff. That night, Medusa raids Bagu village in search of Kauai. But since she's unable to find him there, she takes his wife Rei to use as bait to lure Kauai back to herself. The following day, Kauai gets rescued by Mutt. Meanwhile, Baby tries to seduce the Sabre Lord and attempts to eliminate him while doing so. But Sabre Lord sees through her plan and gets rid of her first, much to Haijin's dismay. Haijin then swears to have his revenge. Later that night, Kauai returns home only to get attacked by the villagers. Mutt runs away again, and Kauai is forced to face the angry villagers alone. They then tie him up, hoping to give him up to the Sabre Lord in the morning, in exchange for his wife and their precious lives. That's when he realizes that his wife isn't part of the crowd and asks for her. He gets informed by a villager that his wife was taken away by Medusa the previous night, but his pleas to be free so he can save her fall on deaf ears. The villagers do not wish to starve to death, so they have no choice. By morning, the village is visited by the Sabre Lord. Kauai then apologizes and begs to be spared, but the Sabre Lord informs him that he's only here for Kauai's energy, which he has obtained from the space rock. Kauai, for fear of his life, then informs the Sabre Lord that Medusa has stolen the energy already for a secret weapon she plans to build. Sabre Lord then laces a few of the villagers, including Kauai and Uncle Sam, with dynamite, asking them to lead the way to the cave. On their way to the cave, the group gets attacked by Medusa's men. During the commotion, Kauai gets split up from the others and heads into Medusa's cave, while the others board a vehicle and escape. While Medusa and the Sabre Lord enter a final battle, Kauai enters the cave. After a few confused minutes of searching around, he finally finds Rei and rescues her. Sabre Lord wins the battle and finds out that Medusa's secret weapon is the spacecraft, which he hijacks. Meanwhile, Kauai Falai and Ray are escaping when the others drive towards them to help them. As they drive off, with hope to drive to safety, Ray suddenly starts to feel labor pains. Talk about wrong timing. And to make things worse, their car breaks down just when the enemy closes in. Kauai Falai and his friend find an RPG which they fire at the enemy. Thinking that they've subdued him, the Sabre Lord emerges from the dust. Suddenly, he gets attacked by Hai Jin, who has come to have his revenge on the Sabre Lord as sworn. While he has Sabre Lord distracted, Ray successfully delivers her baby boy, much to Kauai Falai's happiness. But the Sabre Lord quickly takes out Hai Jin and is hot on their tail. So in order to buy them time, Kauai Falai's friends try to attack the Sabre Lord one after the other and end up sacrificing themselves. Kauai Falai then manages to start pushing the car with Ray and the newborn, while Sabre Lord follows slowly behind. Ray then sits up to celebrate with Kauai Falai. Suddenly, the Sabre Lord fires a shot directly to her head, ending her life. Filled with rage, Kauai Falai tries his possibly best to attack Sabre Lord, but gets beaten up. With the urge to get revenge, he gets a surge of cosmic energy and attacks Sabre Lord with it, finally putting an end to him and his reign. Meanwhile, Medusa's spaceship finally activates and flies to the site of the flight. The ship then further extracts Kauai Falai's energy, leaving him unconscious. While he lies on the sand, he sees his friend's spirits, including Ray's spirit, heading towards the spaceship. They then stop to wave to him before finally disappearing into the light. Mutt then comes to the rescue on Camelback. Kauai Falai takes his baby boy, and together with Mutt, they head to safety. And this is the end. This was a recap of the 2020 movie The Legend of Hammer, directed by Wai Liang Chiang. The movie stars Wang Wai, Wang Yiting, Gong Jinyu, Candy Gong, Nikki Shu, and Chen Yulai. So who else thought Kauai Falai was really cunning? And what do you think about his cowardly yet lucky way of escaping many combat-based situations? Let us know in the comments below with #CinemaRecap. Until next time.